Hello my loves, welcome back to an astrology update. We haven't done this in a long time, but you've been asking and your wish is my command. Now I prepared a general forecast for you, quick and sweet, and then we will talk about what Jupiter in Cancer will reveal for all 12 rising signs. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, abundance, but also wisdom. And in Cancer, it's exalted. That means that Jupiter expresses its gifts more naturally, more abundantly. And when I say Jupiter expresses its gifts, that doesn't mean that Jupiter is doing something to us, right? Jupiter in Cancer just serves as a mirror of what is in here, right? You're now working on this area with this energy that you already hold within, but you're working with it now. So home, family, your roots, emotions will all be a big theme. And when we say Jupiter is the planet of expansion, we need to remember that everything has a higher and lower vibration. And you decide which vibration you will work with. It's up to you. It's not Jupiter that decides that for you. We also have to remember that we all have that in different areas of life, right? Like, so we are still talking about home, family, emotions, and our roots. But if it falls in the 11th house, right? If we have Cancer in the 11th house, this will express differently than if we have it in the 6th house or the 4th house. Let's really quickly talk about the core themes. I have five written down. The first one is emotional expansion. Feelings deepen, emotional intelligence increases, and there is a collective yearning for more meaningful connections. Now again, there are lower and higher vibrations. If you're yearning for more meaningful connections in your life, but you keep getting backstabbing or gossiping, instead of meaningful connections, you know what to do, right? You look inside. You're not blaming the messenger. You look inside. You're like, okay, where am I available for that? Where do I fear that? And why do I fear that? Where does that come from, right? You're working with it internally first. The second theme I called rooted abundance. Wealth and growth come from nurturing, from healing, and from tending to one's foundation. So that can be your family, your roots, or your home, the home you're living in now. Do you want to expand that home? Do you want to relocate that home? Possibly. Ancestry might also be a topic that comes up for many of you. Theme number 3 is intuitive intelligence. And what I mean by that is decisions led by your gut and your heart take precedence. When we work with Jupiter in Cancer, we work with our emotional intelligence, right? I mentioned that earlier. So that we are learning to trust our emotional intelligence. And, you know, there's room for trial and error. We are so guided by external circumstances, right? Like we see this and see that, and someone tells us this and someone tells us this, and this is a professor that knows this and that expert that knows that. And then, you know, we think like, oh, okay, well, who am I? What do I know? Well, you know you. And if you don't know you, you better get to know yourself. Because this is your life. It's you're supposed to lead yourself. And in order to lead yourself, you need to be in touch with yourself. And in order to be in touch with yourself, you have to get in touch with your emotional capacity. Number 4 is legacy and lineage work. What do I mean by that? I mean, drum roll, inner child work. Yes, our favorite topic, inner child work, ancestral clearing, which for me it goes hand in hand, and also deepening your personal traditions, right? You might have traditions in your family that you continue, but you might also come up with new traditions that you want to bring into your family and that you want to grow and evolve. And number 5, and I see that on a personal but also on a collective level, is home-based wealth. So there might be a surge in home-based businesses. Real estate. I think real estate is going to be up and down, up and down, up and down in the coming year. And there might be major highs, or for some people it might go really high, and for others it might go really low. I think this is going to be something we will see more. These waves and these complete opposites, opposite ends of the spectrum, which will also be fueled by, of course, that Uranus energy in Gemini, right? The two sides of the coin that come in. We're going to talk about Uranus and Gemini in another video. You know, understand that it's never only one thing that leads to one outcome, right? We live in a multifaceted world with a lot of factors that play into it. But yeah, particularly, I mean, I can see this with Jupiter in Cancer, that there might be a boom followed by a complete fall, followed by another boom within a short amount of time. Another thing I want to say to point 5 is that creating a safe emotional and physical sanctuary for yourself and for your family is going to take center stage too in the coming year. It might already be in the works for you. You know, you might already look at a new place for yourself, for your family, but I think more people will do this in the coming years. I'm not saying everyone will do this. Yeah, you need to understand that too. Again, we are working with our own energetics here. We're not. It's not that Jupiter now all of a sudden just, you know, hits us and we all want to change our homes. You're working with your energy, and some people will work a little deeper with it, right? It also depends on what is your energy composition, right? If you are a very Cancerian person, this is going to be much more intensified for you. This energy is going to be felt more if you have the Sun in Cancer, the Moon in Cancer, Venus in Cancer, whatever. This is an energy you will feel much more. Now let's get into the signs. Number 1, Aries rising. For you, this energy falls into the 4th house. Like, we are literally talking about home, family, ancestry, roots. So what I see here is possibly big changes in home. And when I say big, I mean big. So like, you know, you might upgrade your home, your house. And I think emotional security is going to be a big theme or a big reason for the upgrade. And by upgrade, I mean this could literally be a new house, a new home, a new apartment, or you update the home you live in, your home situation. Yeah, it is an ideal time to invest. It's an ideal time to move home, but it is also an ideal time to deepen your roots. Another theme here is healing family relationship. You know, maybe there are some family issues, family feuds that might get bigger, but also, you know, you're focusing on it more, and you now have the capacity, the emotional capacity to deal with it. Taurus and Taurus rising. Jupiter is in your 3rd house. We are talking about communication as your superpower. Writing, teaching, speaking, all opportunities for you to expand, to show up, to blow up, right? This is Jupiter, expanding, bigness. Also your relationship with your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, your immediate family, but also with your community, the community you live in. Your surrounding, your neighborhood might grow. You might want to also change communities or neighborhoods. This is, if you are in the communication business already, this is a beautiful time to maybe launch a podcast, launch a YouTube, you know, launch a communication business, even PR, marketing business. If this is, you know, if this is your area of expertise, or if this is something that interests you. It's an energy that's very supportive, right? And you can tap into that energy much easier within you. Gemini rising. Jupiter in the 2nd house. Oof. Major financial blessings. Again, we gotta check what else is going on there, what else is going on in this house, what else is in there. You know, maybe you have a lot of Saturn energy in there, or you have a, you know, you have a square to Saturn, opposition to Saturn. Then you might have to work through some inner turmoil first. But again, we are always talking about inner work. We're not talking about you trying to strong arm your environment. We're talking about inner work, inner realignment, so you can then receive your blessings in the external world, because the external is just the mirror of your internal. Now, when we talk about financial blessings, we are talking about financial blessings, particularly coming in from a family business, from emotional labor, but also from home-based talents. So if you work from home, this might be a beautiful and very rewarding time for you. You have a home business, or if you have home-based business, anything in the kitchen, anything that has to do with, like, you know, making the home a more beautiful place and space. What you will learn throughout this year, and hopefully integrate, right? The integration is up to you. But what you will learn is feeling safe in receiving more, and also charging your worth. Remember that nourishment equals wealth. The more you tend to yourself, the more abundance multiplies. This is a theme in the second house. Now, Cancer rising. Well, this is your transit, right? This is like a transit that happens in your first house. If you're Cancer sun, we also look at this from the first house perspective if we give a general reading. So again, this reading is for Cancer risings and Cancer suns. Now for you, this is a year of personal rebirth. We are talking about radiance, we're talking about magnetism, we are talking about self-confidence expansion. And again, this might not happen like this. You might have to do some inner work to get there. This is like, I need to repeat myself here. This is not like Jupiter shining a light on you and now all of a sudden you are rising from the ashes. You will have to do some inner work. Some of you will do more inner work than others, but it's like it's an inner growth, an inner standing, and an inner understanding of that energy within you. So this is a time where you have the opportunity to become more emotional wise and energetically potent. There's also the opportunity for another level of self-trust, of identity healing, right? We're talking about the first house here, identity. This is about letting yourself be seen fully. Leo rising. Jupiter in your 12th house. This is a year where you have the chance to expand your spiritual gifts. It's also a year for deep rest, for deep introspection and subconscious rewiring. This is also a beautiful time to keep a dream journal, because your dreams may become prophetic and your intuitive guidance is going to be stronger. But again, you have to learn to trust it. And depending on where you are on the spectrum of like trusting your intuition, you know, that might come with a lot of trials and error. Another theme for the 12th house here is letting go of emotional baggage, which may also be a bit of a challenge for most of you. If you've been in a karmic loop, it is time to jump shift. And that might be difficult because, again, that emotional attachment, right? We're talking about the moon here, Cancer. We are so emotionally attached, and it's scary, even though we see like we are sinking, it's a sinking ship, we're on that sinking ship, but still, like, I know this ship, I know this ship, I don't know this one, but it is time, right? And this is for you to learn and understand. Now, Virgo and Virgo rising. Jupiter in your 11th house may highlight social circles, like you might enter new social circles, or your social circles may flourish in a way that you haven't experienced in 12, 13 years. Also, what I could see here for you is collaborations bringing financial rewards. So collaborating with people will fill your pockets in all ways, right? In financial ways, but also in emotional ways, right? You will feel more fulfilled emotionally and then also financially. Another opportunity is that you find your soul-aligned group, your soul-aligned circle. That may be online, right? We're talking about the 11th house, but that might also be, you know, in your surrounding, where you live. You know, maybe you're finally, you know, you thought like, my people are not here, but well, you might be surprised this year. Again, there might be some inner work necessary to be able to see those people in your surrounding. Last one for you, healing around belonging will allow you to step into new leadership roles. So belonging to certain groups, disconnecting from certain groups without guilt, right? Letting go of guilt. You know, you might want to leave a certain group that you belong to and you feel guilty about it, but you might understand that leaving that group and, you know, finding another group that is more aligned with who you are will help you to feel seen, to feel heard. So that means that, you know, maybe you need to leave a certain group that you've been in, a group where you haven't been seen, you haven't been heard. Again, it starts with you. You have to see yourself first to find the group that then can also see you in your full glory in order to step then into that leadership role or taking on that leadership role in that new group. Now, Libra rising. For you, we are talking about big changes in career. This can mean your career can take off, or you might change careers completely, right? You're stepping into a new career path, something completely new. I think it might be an emotional unraveling, and you might have to overcome some fears here, right? To step up, to step into that new world. It might be a completely new world, completely new to you. And again, it comes with your own inner work first, that you might have to, you know, let go of some emotional baggage that keeps you locked to that old career path. And then also the fear of being seen. I think this is a big theme for all signs, like that fear of being seen in whatever area that falls, right? Jupiter is big, right? There's the bigness of life. And being seen in terms of Cancer means, you know, Cancer comes with that shell and it's really soft inside. Like that softness is inside, but there's the shell around. And it's up to you to open that shell in order to expand, because, you know, you can only expand so much within the shell. You have to get out of the confines to show up fully. Then, what do we have? Scorpio rising. Jupiter in the 9th house. This is a year of spiritual and emotional expansion. And this can come through traveling, but this can also come through higher learning and deep psychological frameworks that you either, you know, want to explore further, or you want to teach it to others. Again, I keep saying this, trust your intuitive compass with this transit. There might be some trial and error first, depending on you know, where you're at on that journey of intuition. But this is one big lesson here that we all have to learn, trusting our intuition more. So for you, it means trusting your own intuition more than external gurus, right? It's your internal guru that should speak to you and that you should trust more than, you know, that external person that tells you how to live your life. Then Sagittarius rising, Jupiter in the 8th house. We are talking about deep emotional, financial, and possibly also sexual transformation. Inheritance might be a theme here as well for some of you. And that can be materially, physically, but then also energetically. Energetic inheritance. You know, we all inherit the energetics of our parents. Like maybe there's something you have to release here as well, right? Some energies that are not yours. And this is the 8th house. We're diving deep. We're doing the shadow work. We're doing inner child work. Inner child work, big theme here anyways for all of us. But particularly for you, you know, maybe there's a lot of projection going on where you still carry a lot of your, you know, mother's energy, your father's energy, or missing mother and father energy that you have to realign within you first, so you don't project it onto your partner or your future partner. But also I would say here, your capacity to hold intimacy and trust grows exponentially. Capricorn rising, Jupiter in your 7th house. We are talking about partnerships. We are talking about one-on-one relationships, expansive one-on-one relationships. They might expand you emotionally, physically, hopefully not physically. Well, you know, maybe you will carry something or someone else inside of you. So then, you know, that could be that expansion, that physical expansion that comes with Jupiter here. So that's an option. So keep that in mind. There's a huge opportunity here to attract emotionally available people into your life. And if you do not attract these beautiful people into your life, then you have to ask yourself, where within you are you blocking that, right? Where within you do you not feel ready for it, available for it, worthy of it, right? That's your inner work that you have to do. This is also a beautiful time for relationship healing in general, with Jupiter in this area, and also deepening commitments. It might be a key theme here. Generally, Jupiter in the 7th is a beautiful energy and a positive energy, but you have to just look at yourself and what you are allowing yourself, right? I remember my Jupiter transit through the 7th house. It was a beautiful time, but it also came with a lot of trial and error. It always comes back to you. If you are not available for what you actually want because you don't trust that you can have it, you don't believe you can have it, then, you know, even if it comes in, you'll sabotage it. So you have to be aware of that, right? Even though, again, this is a beautiful energy to have in the 7th house for the coming year, be aware that it's up to you what to do with it. Aquarius rising, for you, this energy falls into the 6th house. So we are talking your day-to-day routines, also work-life balance and your health. So generally, it's a beautiful time for healing. However, we have to remember what I said to all the other signs. This is not Jupiter just dropping the blessings and you just receiving the blessings. No, this is you internally working through your issues, and then you're projecting those beautiful blessings outward. And then the world will reflect it back to you. I remember my transit with Jupiter through the 6th house was actually, well, it was not the easiest time for me health-wise. And I'm not going to scare anyone here. For me, it was like not fully understanding where I was blocked and what I was blocking and why I was blocking it. So it was definitely a time of doing inner work. Like that was a big inner work, big inner expansion. Also expanding what is possible for me in this life, expanding how I want to live, and then actually living that way. Like having a bigger life, a bigger day to day, more money coming in through work, through my day-to-day work schedule. But again, you have to do your inner work. The blessings are not just going to fall from the sky just because. Last but not least, Pisces rising. For you, Jupiter in the 5th. Isn't that our favorite? Yeah, Jupiter in the 5th house can bring blessings in love, blessings in your creative ventures, creative journey. But again, this is not Jupiter sprinkling the miracle juice up on you. No, this is you doing your inner work. Maybe you've already done that inner work and now you can receive those blessings. I've seen this. I've seen this in my surrounding. It's really interesting. For me, this transit happened, I think, during COVID, just before COVID. Let me just think real quick. I think I actually moved countries during this transit. And you know, I just said like, this is a blessing in love. For me, this was actually a breakup. But eventually, you know, I noticed how this was actually turning into a blessing. Not because of that person, right? That person was amazing, was a beautiful person, but you know, it was just not our time to be together. But I learned a lot about myself and what creativity means to me and what I need, the structures I need, because for me that was a Capricorn transit, right? For you, this is a Cancer transit, right? You know, you're working with Cancer energy, I work with Capricorn energy. So I was restructuring my life, but I was also expanding the structures of my life, right? Through moving. So the question here is like, what are you expanding, right? Like potentially your capacity to hold your emotions, right? Showing your emotions a little more. I hear there's someone I'm thinking about right now that's probably watching this video. Being emotionally available on a deeper level, you know, not just going into your little shell and just staying by yourself, but being out there a little more, being a bit more social. I think that's also something that you will notice. And then also showing up in your creativity and showing it to the people. you know, being proud of it, not hiding it, you know, behind a little block, you know, bringing it out there. And again, this can be an emotional availability in partnership as well, right? It can show up like that. Let me just see what else I have written down here. Yeah, romance can deepen when it's emotionally safe. But again, when it's emotionally safe is when you feel emotionally safe. And how do you feel emotionally safe? If you don't feel emotionally safe right now, well, you do your inner work, right? You figure out why am I not feeling emotionally safe? What am I holding on to? You know, it is most likely something from the past that wasn't there, that wasn't stable, that, you know, you didn't receive even though you needed it. And then, yeah, reclaiming joy, inner child healing, and emotional play are the golden keys. So if you have any questions about this transit, feel free to ask. And I'll see you in the next video.